We're going to kick off the show with the first topic, and that is this right here. Sony has a new film in their Marvel Spider-Man universe that they call it, Kraven the Hunter, coming out next week on December the 13th. And to many people's surprises, they have released the first 8 minutes of footage online. And it's not getting ratioed from the Madam Web hate. It's not getting ratioed from Morbius or even the lackluster Venom 3 for the YouTube. It's actually doing really well in terms of like-dislike ratio. But in terms of the actual move of releasing this first 8 minutes first before the movie comes out has never, I don't want to say it's never been done. It looks like a rarity because for Sony themselves, they have released the first 8 minutes of their footage to films before, but after the fact that the movie has been released. And so I'm going to get my thoughts into this real quick, and I'll just address it. Was it desperate by Sony or all part of the plan? I think there's a tinge of desperateness because when this year you're coming off of Madam Web, which is one of the worst, horribly written, directed and filmed movies ever, not just in comic book history, but ever in history of movies. And then you have a lackluster Venom 3, which wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't Madam Web bad, but it's on the decline in terms of what it was from even the last Venom movie. And even before those two movies, you have Morbius that was panned for not only how bad the quality was, but for the back and forth of, hey, the studio just bamboozled us to watch this movie with fake trailers showing a Spider-Man graffiti. You have Vulture, Michael Keaton's character in it, which wasn't in the movie at all, essentially. And now we're coming up on Kraven. This is the latest and maybe the last nail in the coffin for Sony for these live action non-Spider-Man movies. So I'll throw it to you, RJ. What did you think about the first 8 minutes of the footage that was released online?
Well, I'm gonna be real. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but at the same time, I am a Marvel person. You know, I'm a Marvel fan, so I have seen the previews for it, Kraven. From what I saw, it looks good. But at the same time, man, I'm just not a fan of the Sonyverse. I'm just gonna be real. I'm a Marvel Studios guy. When it comes to Marvel Studios, man, it's to me like I feel like you need to everything Marvel needs to stay on that side, man. Stay in that universe, man. I'm not liking that they're making a separate universe of Marvel. You know what I'm saying? They trying to get Spider-Man to jump through both. I'm like, nah, man. Just keep it on one universe, man. But I mean, as in for Kraven, man, I've always, like I said, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. So Kraven the Hunter is like, you know, he's very important in the Spider-Man lore. So I think that with him, like, I'm glad they're introducing his character and they're making him be the character that he actually is in the comics. You know what I'm saying? And that, for what I've seen from the video games and stuff, man, and, you know. So I'm you know what I'm saying? It's good that they're actually showing you what he can and can't be and let him get his own movie.
All right, Firestone, what do you think? We actually had a discussion before we started this. Is that you haven't like you're just like you're a casual fan per se. But what was your reaction to the first 8 minutes of this footage?
This is my intro to him. I haven't seen nothing beforehand. So like when we first got the, you know, like, hey, we're going to show this the topics. Me and RJ talked a little bit about it and he filled me in on it some. And then watching the first 8 minutes, I'm like, okay, they're setting this up. This is very cinematical. I like how this is shot. You know, they're showing the strengths and everything. They're showing his trickiness. Everything was coming in, so you got to kind of get the feel of who the character was within the first 8 minutes. The only thing for me was, man, it felt very anticlimactic. That ending part to end it like that just felt like it was like build up. No release. Like this was what's going. I would just wish it would have been more of the punch at the end for it, as much as it kind of climaxed to everything and showed some of the little fight scenes and everything too. So I'm excited to see it, but I got to learn more about this character.
Let me ask you, so who is your favorite superhero?
Me?
Josh?
It's Spider-Man. It's always been that way from the 90s animated series. And then carry over to the Toby movies and then even the Andrew movies. And then we finally get him in the cinematic universe with Marvel Studios. And then there was a little bit of hope. I had hope when at the post-credit scene of Let There Be Carnage, where they show Venom in the MCU. I won't lie to you. I'm like, you know what? This might work. This just might work with a collaboration between the two studios that even normal fans like us wouldn't have imagined what this could potentially be. And then they just pluck him back to his regular universe at the end of No Way Home and at the beginning of Venom 3. So
I just think, man, in my opinion, man, this is my opinion, bro. I wish people would just go stop seeing the movies and just let them die.
Well, they did. Well, they did with Madam Web. They did with Madam Web and Morbius. So
I didn't like Morbius. I didn't like Madam Web, and I'm just scared that. I mean, for what I've seen for Kraven, it looks good, but I just hope people don't. I hope the ratings come down for it. You know what I'm saying? I hope that the sales don't go very high, so they can give up. And Marvel has leverage to get them rights away from Sony, man.
Yeah.
My goodness, man. Sony. Nobody asked for y'all to make.
I'll tell you right now, the rights are not going away because Sony has up in their back pocket the Spider-Verse movies with Miles Morales. So they still got that in their back pocket. So they're not giving it up anytime soon, unfortunately. Morocco, welcome to the show once again. Let's your thoughts on Kraven. Do you know Kraven, or what'd you think of the first footage of they released online?
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not a real big movie fan.
Okay.
But there is some movies that I do watch. I got to see Iron Man and Wolverine or whatnot. That was a good movie to me. Got a little bit emotional to me. But speaking about this movie right here, from what
Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool. See, I'm not a big movie guy.
I was confused. I was like, when they make a movie?
Yeah, I'm not a big movie guy.
Maybe he was talking about Logan, RJ. Maybe he was talking about Logan. A lot of people cried at the end of that movie. So,
but yeah, it was a good movie.
But yeah, from what I gather from y'all, I mean, I do feel like Sony is feeling a little bit of pressure to perform in this movie. And I also, too, feel like they may have got something for them to put out an 8-minute video showing, what's going on. Now, Firestone did mention, there's the build up, and then, nothing kind of came up out of it. But I don't think they wanted to give too much away now.
Yeah, there's only so much you can show in 8 minutes.
Right.
He definitely did a good job of introducing the character. So for people like me that never knew who this character was, that 8 minutes was good and helpful to show before the film. Because probably for people like me, I wasn't going to see this. Now that I've seen this 8 minute, you got my interest. I'm going to go talk to some fans and some friends that are fans of this, and I'm going to see, hey man, is this really maybe what the hype is? What it is? Because they did good at introducing that character within 8 minutes and make you like, okay, this is somebody interesting I can watch.
Right, and it's part of the rollout. And I mean, like I said, putting that 8 minutes out there, I think they done themselves a favor. Now, RJ mentioned, keeping the expectations down. I think that's key to it, because if you come in with heightened expectations and the movie doesn't perform, I mean, that's only going to make things worse. So, it's something that I'm gonna definitely check out. Cross my fingers, I check it out. But after the Titan season is over, I'm gonna have some time on my hands, so I'm gonna brush up on some movies.
Yeah. Just to close this out, if there's any final thoughts, chime in on this. But just to close this out with this particular topic is that, in sports, we look at, hey, if a team is failing, if the ownership sucks, it sucks. If the team is not doing well, you point to the head coach or the general manager. In terms of movie analysis for this Sony stuff with their Marvel IP that they got when it concerns Spider-Man, the one general manager that is still there since the dawn of time that has not left the studio, because he probably has pictures of the execs somewhere, is a man by the name of Avi Arad, who has been holding on to the clutches of this franchise since 2002, and we are now about to enter 2025, and he still has not left the franchise with his hands all over Morbius, the Spider-Man stuff. Even before there was the agreement between Marvel and Sony that they were trying to start up their own cinematic universe, rush it after the Amazing Spider-Man 2 in 2014. And I think Kraven is going, even if it's good, I think the chickens are coming home to roost with the fans. Kind of like how last year when we had 3 to 4 DC movies come out, some were good, but every single one of them took a bath at the box office because fans just said, enough's enough. We're done with this iteration of things, and hence next July the DC is getting rebooted with Superman Legacy. I mean, or more so Superman.
See, that's the problem that I have with DC, and it's the thing. Like, it's like they're trying to be Marvel. They're trying to be Marvel Studios, and I just don't. I don't feel like they. I feel like they're taking the wrong route. I feel like the approach with DC is very Marvel-like, and it's like you're trying to be something that's already established. When you can establish, you have the ability to establish your own thing. And what I think that the DC should do, if I was in charge of DC, if I was the guy that was going to pick out the movies, one thing DC has over Marvel, in my opinion, I looked at both, you know what I'm saying, comics, and I'll say that DC has better villains than Marvel. And I feel like if they were to focus more on the villain movies like Joker, like a Dark Side, like, you know what I'm saying.
Did you watch Joker 2? Did you watch Joker 2?
I heard it wasn't good though.
It was not good at all.
I heard it was more of a musical or whatnot.
It was.
I'm more of a Batman.
It was God.
I'll say this though. Look, that I don't think those Joker movies. They try to come up with a different iteration of Joker. Now, I mean, like, make your universe of Joker, Penguin, all the, you know what I'm saying. Make a universe of all the villains. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, and make the superheroes be the secondary to a universe. They should make a villain universe instead of a superhero universe, and it would be a lot. People will go see it. You know what I'm saying? Because the first Joker, everybody went to go see that because it was like, man, something we ain't never seen before. You know, and it's like they trying to copy Marvel and do what they're doing. Marvel got better superheroes to me than DC, while DC got better supervillains than the Marvel. So
yeah. All right.
I'm tired of Batman Superman movies, by the way, bro. They getting old. They getting old, bro.
All right.